So Warhorse Studios has finally dropped the trailer for their upcoming game, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is set to be released on PlayStation 5, Xbox, and PC sometime in mid to late 2024, and from what we can see in their trailer, it looks amazing. The graphics look stunning, the gameplay looks intense, from the sprawling open city of Gutenberg to the beautiful countryside, this game looks like everything Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 was supposed to be, but never really got a chance to flourish into. I wanted to take some time and give an in-depth breakdown of some things you might have missed in your original viewing of the trailer, and maybe shed some light on what we can expect from this amazing looking game. So first off, let's start with the locations. Clearly, Warhorse is moving the story along to where it left off, with Henry and Hans traveling to Trotsky Castle to speak with Otto von Bergau. It clearly looks like Trotsky Castle will be included in the game, as it's seen many times throughout the trailer and could even be a centerpiece of where many of the battles take place, as it's featured in the background of this battle here. It also seems the map will be broken down into two different playing areas, one being very remote and full of nature and forests, all of which look incredible by the way, and the other will be the urban bustling streets of Gutenberg, one of the richest cities in Europe at this time, with silver mining operations, and in the words of Daniel Vavra, the creative director on this game,
it's even too big, in my opinion.
So I think it's safe to say we're in for a real treat when we actually get to see this world and see how they've tied these beautiful new locations together. Now moving on to some of the characters, it looks like we are going to have a huge array of returning characters back for this next adventure. Returning in their previous roles are going to be Tom McKay and Luke Dale as Henry of Skalitz and Lord Hans Capon, continuing their story along in this raging war. It's also seen that Markvark von Aulitz and Istvan Toth will also be making appearances as the antagonists. There's also several appearances by Eric, the underling of Istvan Toth, wearing his traditional shiny silver cuirass. It can also be seen that Mutt, the faithful dog companion you pick up in the first game, will be featured, but to what extent is still unknown. Everyone's favorite priest, Father Godwin, looks to be making a comeback in a much more prominent fighter's role, as he can be seen through a lot of the gameplay footage, putting his monk robes to the side and returning back to his old mercenary days that was alluded to in the first game but never seen. There is also a very quick sighting of someone that looks like they could be Captain Bernard, wearing the Rattay colors, but I'm less sure about that given we never get a closer look at his face, so let me know what you think down in the comments, and let me know if there's anyone that I might have missed. That is all that can be seen at this time from the returning characters, but I think it's safe to say we'll likely see others from the previous game, as well as a whole slew of new characters that can be introduced when Henry and Hans make their way to the new environments. Now, as far as who we can expect to battle in general gameplay, I imagine we will still be getting our bandit ambushes that we got in the first game whilst traversing the map. It also does look like humans will be making a comeback, but as far as what role they're going to play in the bigger picture, it's still unknown, but we do get to fight several of them.
We want you to fight for your life.
The general feel of this game, however, looks like it's going to focus more on the large-scale battles against other trained soldiers. Looking at some of these scenes, much of the opposition face is spotted with red banners with 3 white castle towers, which look very much like the flag of Bratislava, a Hungarian kingdom under the control of King Sigismund around this time, and historically Sigismund did sack Gutenberg in 1402, so this is likely the conflict Henry gets involved in. If that's the case, this is certainly going to be a large step up from the previous game's battles to take over large enemy encampments with only roughly about 40 bandits. Now moving on, we do get a little bit of gameplay, and this is the aspect I'm probably most looking forward to in this new game, as some of these scenes look truly epic. There seems to be a lot of returning features that made Kingdom Come Deliverance the cult classic that it is today, being the fantastic minigame of Farkle, horsemanship, stealth, and alchemy. It looks like most of these features have just been tweaked and fine-tuned a little bit to be that much better than the original. There seems to be more variabilities in the combos you can perform with various weapons, and the unarmed gameplay looks much more refined than the first game.
Criminal stuff around the village, people.
The additional stuff we can look forward to is we can actually craft weapons and armor ourselves. In addition, the way the character can interact with the environment will be expanded on by now not only having citizens comment on your behavior and clothing, but actually giving the players the ability to comment back in negative and positive ways.
When you are, I don't know, drunk and naked, people comment on that on the street, and now you can also reply. You can tell them, oh, I'm sorry, or you can tell them, piss off, man.
I'm thinking it'll be a similar system to that used in Red Dead Redemption 2 that allows Arthur Morgan to greet or antagonize random civilians as he walks up and down a town.
I like you, mister. You have a kind face. The kind I like to punch.
Let's do this.
The biggest thing of note is the addition of crossbows and early gunpowder weaponry. Crossbows was probably one of the most requested things from the previous game that most people were begging Warhorse for, and it seems we finally got our wish for more options as far as ranged warfare. In these early game looks, it seems like sieging will play a much more prominent role in the new game. After all, we are transitioning Henry from a small-time peasant and minor skirmishes to large-scale battles with cities and castles at stake. We even get a reference to possibly being able to swim in this game.
I'm more worried about it being too deep.
But I wouldn't hold my breath on that. Now, I'm gonna go into a little bit of what I think might happen in the next game, but as no more info has been confirmed, keep in mind, this is all just speculation, not necessarily spoilers. I think that the story is gonna pick up right where the last game left off, and Henry and Hans are gonna be on their way to Trotsky Castle to parley with Otto von Bergau. Either along their route or when they get to Trotsky Castle, I think they both get captured and imprisoned at some point, as this scene depicts both Henry and Hans in the jail cell together. This then might lead into Henry being beaten and interrogated again, and maybe even possibly branded an enemy of the state, as this scene looks more like a cutscene to me rather than gameplay, but I could be wrong about that. I'm also thinking that they might actually spend quite a bit of time in jail, as some of the character models do look quite a bit older to me, but could also just be a new art style. At some point, Henry and Hans either escape, or a sizable ransom is paid to let them out of jail, as it was Isvantov's idea to get a ransom for Henry in the previous game. They eventually make their way over to Kuttenberg, and the story will truly begin. I really don't know which direction it's going to go. That's just my speculation for how I think this story is going to start. I could be completely wrong about all this, but it's fun to theorycraft on what we might see. If you have any theories on what you think might happen, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on what you think we might see. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel to see more amazing content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!